What's going on YouTube? It is Repulse back in another video. In today's video, we have our Chelsea news video of the day. There were some links today, so there's a lot to get into. So I say we just begin by digging in. We'll go back to I guess last night. As Maresca had his press conference. Pretty late. At night. Of I believe around like 1 a.m. UK time, but some of his quotes, he was asked on Chelsea signing a left winger, um, and he said that for sure something is going to happen. Um, he followed this up by saying that we only have three wingers at the club in Ty, Neto, and Nani. So pretty much he's saying we need another winger for sure. Something is going to happen, as in we are going to make a move on a winger. Um, So yeah, I think we're anticipating a Gittens coming in or a new player who we got linked to today. Other than that, we also got linked to a goalkeeper, or not linked to a goalkeeper. Maresca was asked about Mike Mignon, who we're linked to, who is a goalkeeper. But Maresca's quote was that the situation about the goalkeepers is pretty simple. Robert Sanchez is a number one, Philip Jorgensen's a two, and then Mike Penders, who is with us at the Club World Cup, has joined us, and then we will take a final decision to see who our number one will be. Basically, not talking about another player that is not contracted to our club, which I think is completely fair. Um, I think it's just a respect thing not to talk about players that aren't contracted to us. I think that's what he was going for. Um, but yeah, I think Mignon may come through the door. Um, it's something that I would like to see happen, to be honest. Because I do think we need a goalkeeper. I thought Sanchez looked pretty good today, actually. Today was the day of the Club World Cup first game. Obviously, we won 2-0 against LAFC. I'm sure most of you watched if you're watching this video. Um, yeah, I thought Sanchez looked good when called upon, but wasn't called upon too much, and I still would like another goalkeeper to come through the door. Um, but the link to the left winger we had, which was actually a big link, would be right here. L'Equipe, um, there was a major breaking that Chelsea officials have called for Malick Fofana from Lyon, as they value him around £42 million, which was backed up again by David Ornstein. He says that Chelsea make a verbal inquiry for Malick Fofana, which still may be there. Oh yeah, Chelsea make verbal inquiry to Lyon regarding Malick Fofana, the 20-year-old Olympic Lyon winger, among multiple options that Chelsea are considering. Amid Jadon Sancho's exit, nothing advanced for the Belgium international, but discussions will continue. Um, and he says the Athletic after L'Equipe, because they were the first to break this news. And then Fabrizio followed this up by um, saying that Chelsea absolutely want to go for Gittens and want to attack the situation again. Gittens has told Dortmund that he wants Chelsea. And there was also another thing about Gittens basically being our priority. Yeah, here we are. Chelsea considered Jamie Bino Gittens as their priority target as winger with talks to follow with Borussia Dortmund. Agreement still sealed with the player side. It's a 7 million deal or 7 year deal. Sorry. Um, However, the club has also made an inquiry from Malick Fofana in direct contact with Olympic Lyon, as Hugo Guillemach reported. However, there's no proposal at this stage. We know we bid for Gittens, so it seems like Gittens is our priority, but I do kind of think that it would be smart for us to bring both in. I think competition breeds better players, and I think if you bring both in, both will develop well. And I think compete for that starting left wing spot, and we need two left wingers to begin with. I know we have Ty, but I think Ty needs development. I think he needs to become more physical to become a starter for us. Um, so yeah, I would like to bring both in. I know that'd be pretty expensive, around 80 million, but I'd rather get two. I think Malick Fofana is a quality player, nonetheless. Um, but I also think Gittens is a good player, so I would like both to come in. Speaking on Malick Fofana, I think he's a lot more better in terms of a creative winger with the assists rather than the Gittens, who is the goal scoring winger. So I think both profiles there would really mesh well. I think it depends on the opposition which winger you would play. And I think that's something we need. So yeah, I would test the waters and go in for both if we could. Um, Other than that, we have a player already at the club, but apparently there is internal raving in Chelsea about the center back Mamadou Sarr. Some people inside the club think he's going straight into the first team. I think this is good news. Obviously, we signed him from Strasbourg. It was one of the Blue Co deals. But I do think he's a good player. I think he looked good at Strasbourg, but I don't know what level he is yet for the Prem or for Chelsea level, I guess, in retrospect. But I think if he could get game time, I'd be more than happy to see him play, especially in the Club World Cup. As you can see, he traveled with the squad. He has the Club World Cup tag on his jersey. Um, so yeah, I think that if you can get Mamadou Sarr minutes, you should because I'm pretty high on him. I thought he did look good at Strasbourg last season. I think he deserved a move to Chelsea, maybe one of the Omega pre-agreements in 2026 like that. Um, but still a good player. I'd still like to see him get minutes, and maybe he does come good and play a lot for us this season, which is definitely a possibility considering Wesley Fofana's health. Um, moving on to the quotes from after today's game. We will start off with Liam Delap speaking about his assists to the team, um, which Enzo Fernandez converted to make it 2-0. It was across Delap's here, pretty much. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd my thing go? Oh no. Here we go. There we go. I found it. So Delap's here, Enzo's here. Basically crosses it over. Enzo tucks it on his thigh, converts it back across the goal that way. Um, But Delap on his assist says it's really important to help the team, but he wants to score some as well. I think that's a very good striker mentality. He had a pinpoint assist. He had a crucial impact on the game after he came on, but then he follows it up by saying he wants to score goals. I think that's great. I think it's a good mentality to have, to be honest. Because obviously, as a striker, you just want to do whatever helps um, for the team, and that's what he says first. But then again, for person for personal confidence, you do want to score some goals because the goal tally you have is how people are going to perceive you. Because as a striker, your only goals, or I guess yeah, your only goal is to actually score goals. So that's what he's saying here. He's saying it's important to help. I'm glad to have helped the team with the assists. However, he does want to score goals to build that tally, build his credibility, get the fans behind him, and I think it's a good mentality to have because at the end of the day, his first priority is to help the team. But then again, he does want to score some goals to um, also help the team in a way. Um, and he actually spoke about Nicholas Jackson. Um, he said that um, this is Liam Delap still in the same interview. He said that it's always healthy to have competition. It's football, and this is an incredible club. Um, yeah, I think it's a good quote. I think competition's good. I think the different profiles that they have are also good. Jackson, as you can see, dropped in deep a lot more often than Delap did. Delap only had 30 minutes or so on, not even, but Jackson looked good today in the first half as well. Played some through balls, got an assist as well. Both strikers got the assist today. I thought Jackson looked pretty bright. I think after he got the assist, he kind of went on cruise control a little bit. Wasn't as good as he was prior to that. Um, but yeah, I think the lap's spot on here. I think it's always healthy to have competition. Is a good way to view um, Jackson. I think it pushes both of them to get better. And it means that any mistake, there is someone to back you up. So, you can take that as a threat. You could say, oh no, there's someone that's coming to take my spot. If I mess up, let's not mess up. Or you could say, hey, I'm on a bad run of form. I have someone to back me up. They're more than credible. Um, they can still do a job for this team, and I think that's always a good way to go about it. And then obviously you'll still get the minutes, you'll still get subbed on, try to find a way to find back form, while the other striker may be on form, and then it pretty much just flip flops. I think the profiles contrasting are a good thing too. I think it allows Jackson to play games where I think we need to drop in deep, play the long balls to the nets, or not the long balls, but the balls on the ground to the likes of Neto, to the likes of I guess Madueke, and then Delap is the one where you need a box presence. You need someone that's gonna run in behind and stay on side, unlike Jackson. Yeah, I think the lab can definitely do that and be a more clinical finisher. So yeah, I think it's a good way to view it. Healthy to have competition. Um, and then Maresca spoke about this. Maresca on Delap's performance, he said that he was absolutely happy with Delap's performance. The good thing with him is he understands the way we want to play, so the process is quick. He said basically Dario Suga was also good in his debut. He only had a couple minutes, but he did look right. He looked like he could shut a game down if he needed to. Um, Pretty conservative, pretty easy stringed passes, but again looked like a tidy player. But good to see that the manager did back Delap's performance because I think it was one of the best performances of the day, up there with Neto. He looked really good. Could have had a second assist too. also Enzo, but the defender stepped in and blocked that. Um, and then another thing about Delap actually, which John Obi Mikel spoke, and he said Mikel wishes Delap well, but says he's not who the fans wanted. The fans wanted Victor Osimhen. I don't think that's true. Um, I think there's a good section of the fan base that do want Osimhen. I'd be more than happy to bring him in. Oh, excuse me. We'll just move that out. Yeah, I think we'd be more than happy to bring in Osimhen if that makes sense. Like I think the fan base would get behind Osimhen right away, especially if he chooses Chelsea out of that big list of clubs he has. Um, but yeah, I don't think that this is really a good quote from John Obi Mikel. I think he really just wants Osimhen to move to Chelsea for some reason. I don't get it at all personally. Um, yeah, it just makes no sense. I mean, he loves himself some Victor Osimhen for some reason. Um, I mean, he's really pushing him to the club, but like the fans aren't really all behind Victor Osimhen. Some don't view him as a top striker, and that's okay. But again, um, you can't just force a player into the team just because you have ties to him. The Nigerian tie always, um, yeah, it just I don't know. I don't really see what um, John Obi Mikel is forcing. I think Victor Osimhen is a good striker. Obviously, I mean he's a Champions League level striker, but I don't know the forcing that John Obi Mikel does for Victor Osimhen to Chelsea in terms of putting other players down. I just don't understand. I really don't like it at all. Um, and then some more Maresca quotes from the post-game interview from today. He said that after the Conference League final, Cole said he was quite bored receiving the ball, but decided to do something different. I said to him, "You can do that from the first minute. Why did you wait?" We asked him to do that because we are happy he does that. Cole is our best player, a top player. I think that's a good quote. I think that's an important thing to show that Maresca is giving him the freedom he wants, so all the fans can get him or can get off Maresca's back for mismanaging Cole or taking away the best of Cole because he plays in a controlled system, but that's not true. Cole Palmer has freedom. It's evident to see he has freedom with the way he just glides around the pitch and carries the ball. I don't think Maresca's really going to fault Cole for doing what he's best at in creating, scoring goals, just being free, and that's what Maresca's allowing him to do. Obviously, you still have the solid midfield of Caicedo and Enzo who are going to retain the ball, who are going to play these safe passes, but also spread the ball around. And then you have Cole who's just making magic, and I think that's perfectly fine to do. Um, so yeah, I think that's a good quote from Maresca. It shows that he's willing to basically give up on a tactic um, and just let Cole be Cole, which I think is what Cole Palmer excels in. Um, and then also on the competition between um, Nico and Delap, Maresca spoke about it. He said that he's curious to see how Nico reacts to Liam in terms of Liam Delap. He competed with Giyu, who's very young during the season, and they're both good number nines. Um, basically, he's saying that Nico didn't have much competition last season. Giyu's very young, not that polished of a striker, not much to really compete against, not getting pushed to their full extent. Um, I do think Gio's a good nine, or Giyu, excuse me. I think Giyu is a good nine. I just think he's very young, needs a lot of development, and I think a loan would be good for him. But I also think do need three strikers this season, so I would kind of like Giyu to stay if we don't bring in another guy. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be a good competition between Delap and Nico. I do think Delap takes the job, um, but I do think it's going to push both to get better because of the different profiles. I think they're both going to try to mold it into a profile that Chelsea like instead of just being on their own. And I think that's a good thing, but also a bad thing at the same time. Um, and then lastly from Maresca, he said that the environment was strange. The stadium was almost empty, not full. Yeah, I mean the stadium looked completely empty today. I know they took out the like top section of the stadium in Mercedes Benz, which is like 26,000 seats. Um, but yeah, the stadium was still empty. I think it was just bad planning by FIFA. Something I wanted to talk about. It's really bad planning by FIFA. Um, they basically put a big club on a Monday on a work day. Um, it makes no sense. They're not going to sell tickets like that, and the ticket prices are still insanely high. Um, despite it not being near sold out, especially on a Monday at 3 p.m. when people are working. Not many people are going to be able to get to the game unless it's very cheap. Um, because those would be the people that are calling off work, but they don't want to spend all that money. They're just gonna stay working. So it's just terrible planning by FIFA, in my opinion. I don't know why you'd put a big club at 3 p.m. on a Monday while people are working. Because again, it does make for a strange environment. Um, it shows that the stadium's never gonna fill up in that way. There's like 125 LAFC fans that were like ultras that you could just hear the whole game because no one else was basically there. Chelsea fans made some noise every time we scored a goal. I think there's a a decent amount, just very sporadic, very spread out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. FIFA really messed up with the planning of this game, and I'm hoping it's not that way because I am going to the other two games in Philadelphia. There's a game at 2 p.m. on Friday, which may not be bad because again, you can take off work on a Friday. You can take off work on a Friday and travel. It's a weekend. You still have Saturday and Sunday to travel back to your other city. So yeah, I think there's going to be more people there at Philadelphia on Friday. I think it's Monday, our other game, or Tuesday. Um, but those two games, I think there's going to be more fans there because Tuesday's a night game, so obviously people are going to be off work, which makes them able to go, or they're just able to take off work early if they're in Philadelphia. Um, so yeah, I think it was just really bad planning by FIFA on this one. And then I forgot to bring this quote up earlier. That's why I brought the other one up earlier by accident. Pice, basically our our news translator, said that Jamie Bino Gittens is still Chelsea's priority for the wing, although we made an inquiry from Malick Fofana. Again, I do think the contrasting profiles are going to be very good for us if we do get both through the door. I don't want one to be priority of the other, but if I was to take a winger, I would take um, Jamie Bino Gittens, to be honest. I know Malik Fafana is an excellent talent, and I think he is a better player than Jamie Bino Gittens, but I think Gittens, in terms of one-on-one and being a goal-scoring winger, is more important to what Chelsea need right now off that left-hand side than a Malik Fafana who's going to create for us, because we already have the likes of a Cole Palmer who is going to create, is going to score goals. I think we just need a true goal scorer from the winger position, and that's what Jamie Bino Gittens is, rather than Malik Fafana who's going to give you more assists than goals, kind of like a Neto did. Um, but obviously Malik Fofana is a lot more technical, a lot better with his feet, creates a lot more than Neto does. But I'm saying in terms of the statistics, in terms of the GA, in terms of the GA numbers, I guess he would have more assists than he would goals, which is what Neto does. He gets more assists than he does goals. Um, but I think it's the opposite for Jamie Bino Gatens. I think he gets a lot more goals than assists, and I think we do need that from the winger position. I think we need a lot more direct of a winger. So I think Jamie Bino Gittens fills that mold. Or excuse me, Jamie Gittens. He dropped the Bino. But yeah, I think that is the news roundup. Um, Definitely a lot more going to come in the next days because we don't have a um match till Friday, I believe. So we have a 4 day break. Obviously, team needs to travel back to Philadelphia. But yeah, that is all. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. It means that, you know, I know you'll like my content that I'm making, and it's gonna, you know, strive me to or motivate me to strive to do more. Make better content, make more content at that. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Um, and yeah, that is the news roundup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.